Hello and welcome back to our channel. In the last 11 months, we've been sharing a video every fortnight or so to seek to give you the information you need to make the best of your finances. If you like, to give you a free course in effective financial literacy and ultimately financial freedom as a result. Anyway, we will continue with our course in financial freedom in the weeks and months ahead, but today I wanted to take a moment to cover a really important topic. And that is to look at some of the key resources you might use when it comes to sorting out your money and your finances. So examples of the sort of thing here include which investment platform or stockbroker to use, how to get the best information about all things finance, and also how to buy gold, for example. Over the years since founding Plain English Finance, we've had lots of people ask us about what we think the best financial products and services are. By now, I've actually had several thousand emails along those lines. In reaction to this, we produced the key resources section of our website more than a year ago. And today I wanted to canter through some of the content from that page now that we have this YouTube channel, and not least given just how many of you get in touch to ask about this stuff, as I say. So one key point to make about all of this right at the start is that often the right answer in terms of answering questions about such things will be highly subjective and very much depend on your own personal circumstances. That having been said, in today's video, I'm going to cover some of the service providers and resources you might consider to help you get your finances humming. Common to all of them is that we use these companies ourselves. So I've been a subscriber to Money Week magazine and read it nearly every week for about 20 years, for example, and I have accounts with all of Hargreaves Lansdown, Interactive Investor, and Bullion Vault, companies we're going to cover in this video. Before I go on today, it is very important for me to stress that none of what follows in this video should be seen as financial advice. Without wanting to go all legal on you, I'm obliged to say that we can't make any recommendations regarding the suitability of any product for you, and the information provided in this video should not be considered as investment or other advice or as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any particular investment. The other thing that I must also say for good order and full disclosure is that some of the links we provide to some of the businesses I'm going to talk about today are affiliate links. So this means that if you use them to subscribe to Money Week or to open an investing account, for example, we will be paid a small commission by the relevant company. To be clear, there will be no additional charge to you if you do this. And of course, if you want to support all the work that goes into this channel and you want to use any of these services yourself anyway, this is hopefully a great way for you to support us. And I might also add that we've been talking about all of these products and services for many years without any affiliate relationships or commission payments. Right for free until you get paid, as Mark Twain used to say. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards, let's look at some of these key resources that you might use to help you get set financially. So first, let's look at some conventional financial accounts. To make decent forward progress with your finances, you will obviously need to use various types of financial accounts, so ISAs, pensions, and so on. And if you'd like to learn about such things in more detail, please do consider checking out the relevant sections of my books. And we've also covered many of these topics earlier in this video series, particularly how to think about your ISA versus your pension, for example. So whether you're setting up regular investment each month or looking to invest a lump sum in some shape or form, you're going to need an account with a top quality stockbroking company or investment platform. Nowadays, there are many options here, something I wrote about in How to Own the World when I explained that one of the great things about being alive today is that today's financial services are quite literally the best they've ever been in history. The two main companies that I've used for this for many years are called Hargreaves Lansdown and Interactive Investor. Hargreaves was one of the first companies in the UK to champion the private or DIY investor. Today, they are a large company and the UK's #1 platform for private investors, holding more than £150 billion for more than 1.8 million customers. And I've had an account with them for nearly 15 years. In that time, I've found them to have exceptional customer service, which is one of their key selling points. Some people think that Hargreaves can be a little expensive. My view is that they could be worth a small premium, particularly if you're just getting started and have relatively little money to invest. Your financial affairs are extremely important after all. And given this fact, and given how relatively complicated these things can be for many people, particularly when you're just starting out, I think there is great value in using a company where someone intelligent, helpful, and articulate usually answers the phone within a few rings and can help you. There are also ways of using your accounts at Hargreaves Lansdown which actually make them really good value anyway, given that you can get commission-free dealing on certain kinds of fund if you buy them regularly each month, an idea we've looked at in several of our previous videos. The other company I've also used for some years is Interactive Investor, or II for short. Interactive Investor have more than 400,000 customers, and 1 in 4 UK share trades are actually executed on their platform. II, or Interactive Investor, charge a monthly flat fee for their investment accounts rather than a small percentage of your invested funds. And this can make them a particularly good choice if you have larger amounts to invest. With their stocks and shares ISA account costing £4.99 a month, for example, this implies mathematically that you could be better off at II as against someone like Hargreaves if you have more than about £13,300 to invest. If you're investing in funds where Hargreaves or other similar companies levy a charge of around 0.45%, for example. This is just the way the maths works, by the way, in that £4.99 a month is just short of £60 a year, and 0.45% of £13,300 is just short of £60 a year too. Hopefully that makes sense. So a key thing here is that whichever stockbroking or investment company or platform you're planning to use, you will want to understand what it is that you want to buy or invest in order to then work out the costs you're going to incur. And this actually isn't that complicated once you have the basic gist. And again, I cover all of these various costs in some detail and how this all works in my first 2 books. So I think Hargreaves Lansdown and Interactive Investor are both solid options, and as I say, I've been using them both for many years very happily. So moving on, a slightly different category of investment company that it is worth looking at quickly is what are sometimes called challenger companies, which have entered the market in recent years. So these would include the likes of Trading 212, Free Trade, Invest Engine, and eToro, for example, and several others. Over the years, many people have been in touch with me to ask about these companies. And I think it's important to understand that each of them offers a fundamentally different range of products to the big investment platforms like Interactive Investor and Hargreaves Lansdown. To explain this point in a bit more detail, in the main, such companies can only offer you stock market listed products. That is to say, single company shares, exchange traded funds or ETFs, and investment trusts in the case of Free Trade and Trading 212. They do not offer traditional investment funds such as unit trusts and open-ended investment companies. And this is because it's much cheaper from an IT and human resource perspective only to offer the products they offer. There are only a few thousand main stock market listed investments, but many more thousands of funds. And it isn't practical or economic for these companies to put the infrastructure and headcount in place to offer the full range of fund products that the bigger investment platforms do. To be clear, I have nothing against any of them if that's the way someone wants to go, i.e. to only use ETFs or single stocks. It just means that their customers can't access a rather wider opportunity set of potential investments, which is one of the reasons I have never opened an account with any of them personally. Many people have found them to be a good option in recent years, given their low costs and attractive, intuitive investment apps, which have been particularly appealing to younger and more tech-savvy investors who are used to doing things with their smartphones. They are certainly one way to go if you want to keep things very simple and invest primarily in entire stock markets, such as the kinds of big global equity markets we've covered in our recent videos. One thing to remember about such companies, by the way, is that all brokers make a spread, which is between the price you can buy something and the price you can sell it when it comes to anything that's listed on a stock market. So even though you're getting commission-free trading with such companies, you're actually not getting entirely free trading, else they wouldn't be able to make any money, of course. And it's also worth noting that nowadays you can actually get commission-free trading in these same sorts of products from the big platforms like Hargreaves and Interactive Investor anyway, if you're investing automatically each month. Another company I get asked about a fair bit since they launched in the UK market is Vanguard. And a key thing to understand about Vanguard is that they only offer their own products. As we've already seen, firms like Interactive Investor and Hargreaves offer a very wide range of financial products. They're described as investment platforms or fund supermarkets as a result. Such companies enable you to buy and sell thousands or actually tens of thousands of different things, including shares and a very wide range of funds. Vanguard, on the other hand, only offer a range of their own in-house products. And to be clear, I think Vanguard is an excellent company and their products are great value. And we use some of their ETFs in our fund, for example. They can be a good option for someone who wants to keep things simple, which is not necessarily a bad thing to do, as I've written about at some length in the past and covered in several of our previous videos. I've not had an account with Vanguard personally because I want to be able to secure exposure to financial assets which they don't offer, such as certain single stocks and actively managed funds, including our fund. Again, as a general comment, if you want to understand more about the types of investment accounts and financial products available to you and how you might think about using them, please do check out many of the earlier videos in this series and my first 2 books too, of course. And also, just a quick reminder that we're inching ever closer to being able to publish the new, very much updated and upgraded edition of my second workbook, Live on Less, Invest the Rest, which serves as the effective companion text to this video series. There are now just a few more graphic design things still to get done before we can publish that. And please note, if you have purchased a copy of the original edition of that book, we will be offering you a free PDF and electronic copy of the new version once it's published. So please watch out for that. So hopefully that's been helpful in terms of a quick trot through many of the different kinds of investment firms in the UK market. The next thing I wanted to mention was my favourite weekly magazine all about money and finance, and this is Money Week magazine. I've said it before, but if you only take one further reading action, over and above reading my books, of course, you might consider subscribing to Money Week magazine and doing your best to read it each week, or at least as often as you can. It really is my favourite UK finance magazine, and I've been reading it for about 20 years, usually over breakfast on a Saturday morning. I'd even go so far as to say that I probably wouldn't have been able to write my books had I not subscribed to it so many years ago. If you're based in the UK, I believe that the price of a subscription is one of the most cost-effective investments you can make in your financial future, truly. By reading Money Week, you will ensure that you have a basic grasp of what's going on in the world. You will enjoy a constant stream of investment ideas and valuable information on things like funds and shares. Many people are actually surprised at what an easy read it is, and it even has sections on things like wine, cars, and property to lighten the tone somewhat. I genuinely can't recommend it highly enough. And the last topic I wanted to cover off quickly today before signing off was a few quick thoughts about buying gold. If you followed me for any length of time, you will know that I have long believed that gold plays a key role in the financial system. We showed this chart of the gold price in our last video to show you the performance in pounds in the last decade or so. If you're lucky enough to have a fair bit to save and invest each month, you might consider putting at least some money to work in gold. There are various ways of doing this, but one of the best, in my experience and in my opinion, is by using a company called Bullion Vault. Bullion Vault is a web-based service that enables you to own physical gold without having to take delivery and store or hide it yourself. The bullion's held legally in your name, and you can elect to keep it stored in places like London, Switzerland, or Singapore. They're the world's largest online gold investment service, taking care of £3.3 billion worth of bullion for more than 100,000 customers. I've had an account with them myself for some time and have found them to be first class. Setting up an account with them is very easy, and you can then just transfer money from your current account as you would with paying any bill. You can also set up automated monthly payments. And by the way, there's a fair bit about gold in both of my books, so please do check that content out to understand all about gold and precious metals more generally, ideally before you invest. And I'll also be covering gold in more detail in future videos, so please do watch out for that when the time comes. So that's it for today. I hope you found this video useful in terms of covering some of the key resources you might put in place to help you succeed with your finances. As ever, if you want to ensure that you see our future videos when they're published, please do click the subscribe and bell buttons, which makes me very happy as we grow our numbers. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please do feel free to connect with me on any or all of LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter or X. And of course, you can also subscribe to our free email service from the Plain English Finance website. Until next time, I wish you the very best.